What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Legit Fishing. Hey, I hope everybody's having a good day. My name is Dustin Holland. Welcome to Legit Fishing. Today, we're going to talk about tackle organization. Anybody that knows me knows that I get a little OCD when it comes to my tackle organization, my garage organization. I just go a little overboard sometimes, and this video will kind of be proof of that on the tackle side. So we're going to talk about a few different things that I have here and how I keep everything in my boat organized, in my truck, if I store tackle in there, if I'm going on a trip, or in the shop, just how I store everything. We're going to start off first with soft plastics. So I use these 6 cents bags. I love these. This one is actually my shaky head bag. You can fit a ton of packs of worms in here. I can't even count however many packs are in here, but this is what I keep in my boat with whatever soft plastics I plan on using that day. I keep a crate in my truck that has one bag for every different type of soft plastic, like shaky heads, jig trailers, flipping baits. I also really like these Plano bags. This one just happens to be a Tackle Warehouse one. They're a little bit cheaper than these 6 cents bags, but they don't hold as much. This particular bag has all of my kind of forward-facing sonar baits in it, and I mean, you can fit soft bags, you can fit the hard plastic cases for like your swim baits and stuff like that. These will also hold a ton. I do think that the Tackle Warehouse bags work better for the hard plastic packaging, and the 6 cents bags seem to work a little bit better for the, just your standard worm bags and everything. That's typically how I store all my soft plastics. I don't store any loose in like a Plano box or anything like that. I feel like this kind of keeps the integrity of the plastic a little bit better. They don't get that, kind of funky shape to them after they've been laying in a box or something for a little while. But both of these are my particular favorite for storing soft plastics. Next, let's talk about hooks and weights. I use, for my hooks and my weights, I use these Spro boxes. Now, I'll be honest, when I ordered these and I ordered the extra large, I expected a lot bigger boxes. But that being said, you can fit a ton of hooks and weights in these boxes because they're double-sided. I don't know how well you'll be able to see, but I go through and I write, this happens to be the hook box, I write the size of the hook, and then you can kind of visually see, what style it is, whether it's a wide gap, a drop shot hook, or just a straight shank worm hook. The weight box is the same. I have all of my stuff in here, not just weights. I've got my beads for Carolina rig, I've got your peg stoppers for, you know, a Texas rig or anything like that, and a few different swivels for Carolina rigging. But I can honestly fit just as much tackle in one of these as you can fit in a normal 3700 Plano box. These little tabs flip up, and like, here's all my drop shot weights, and there's more than enough for a few days of fishing in one side of this. Here is, you know, just regular bullet weights. These are all lead or steel weights. Tungsten weights I tend to keep in their original packaging. We all know those are expensive. You don't want the paint getting chipped off of those, so I typically just leave them in whatever kind of blister pack or whatever they come in, and I'll throw a couple packs in my day box on my boat. So speaking of Plano boxes, I have always been a fan of just your standard 3700 Plano waterproof box. Every boat that I've owned in the past, you know, with the exception of the Skeeter I currently own, they were not watertight. If it rained, whatever you had in your storage boxes was getting wet. So I went to all waterproof boxes, and even with my new boat, I haven't looked back. This is my swim bait head box, but in all of my hook boxes, whether it be jig heads, jigs, terminal tackle, whatever I've got in those, I use these Z-Rust strips. These help a ton with keeping rust out. Not only does the waterproof box help, but there's not a single rusted hook in here, and I have some hooks in here like these tube weights. I don't throw a tube very often. These are probably 2 or 3 years old, and there's not a lick of rust on those. But I was kind of skeptical of the Plano edge boxes. They're not cheap. In fact, they're, you know, you can get the regular waterproof boxes. You can usually find those anywhere from $10 to $12, whereas the exact same size box in the Edge series, depending on which one you're looking at, they're anywhere from 30 to 50 bucks. This box is my Shaky Head and Ned rig box. I do like the fact that you can write. They've got a spot there for you to write what technique is on there. These boxes, honestly, they are awesome. I don't know that I will go to these boxes for everything that I use, but as far as just jig heads and stuff like that, specialty techniques, they're amazing. Again, on the lid, I write what is in each little space so that, you know, it's just easy to find. Yeah, it's backwards if you look at it through the case with the lid shut, but I can read my own handwriting enough to know that what is in each individual compartment by the time I get it open. My only complaint with these is, kind of did it there, they seem like they're really difficult to get them to latch straight every single time. You kind of have to apply even pressure down and pull that latch back. Another thing that I do, I use these boxes for crankbaits mostly, but every single box in my boat has a label on it. I know what's in there without having to dig through boxes. I even go as far, if say we're talking medium diving crankbaits, I've got 2 boxes. I've got one that is natural colors, and I use a color label, certain color label for natural colors, a certain color label for bright colors, you know, your chartreuse, fire tiger, stuff like that. And even as far anything that is terminal gets a white label. I have different colored labels for different styles of techniques. Like I said, I'm a little OCD when it comes to just quickly being able to look in my center box or in one of my other compartments and know exactly what is in that box. This is my newest edge box, and this is my spinnerbaits and buzzbaits. This thing holds a ton. You've got these sliding dividers that slide along the center rail to where you can separate by color, however you want. I have all mine kind of separated by color. I've got my more natural shad colors here. I've got black and blue and red here. What I throw more often than not when I throw a spinnerbait, chartreuse. And then right here is all of your buzz baits and a couple more just random buzz baits. But I was able to take 2 spinnerbait boxes, your normal Plano cheap spinnerbait boxes, and was able actually to combine them into one. Now this box is pretty big. It is about the same size as 2 of the normal Plano spinnerbait boxes, but it's just really convenient to have it all in one space to be able to pull that out and know what you're getting. All right, going a little bit of a tangent here. Let's talk kayak storage. Most anybody who has ever fished out of a kayak or seen, you know, anyone fishing out of a kayak knows that you typically have a spot for a crate. This one just happens to be a Yak Gear. I think I bought it at Dick's Sporting Goods, but I keep different boxes in here. I've got one box that's just kind of like a day box. I can go through my bass boat. I can go through, you know, whatever tackle boxes. If I want to throw some crankbaits or top water or something like that, I keep a day box in here that I can just throw those specific baits in. This box is a deep waterproof 3700. This keeps some more jig heads and hooks that I pretty much throw anytime I'm in my kayak, and I just keep those in this box. This box is pretty cool. It is not a waterproof box, but these are the Plano bait jar storage boxes. Do some panfish, trout fish out of the kayak. So it's great to keep all of your little bait jars with like your salmon eggs or any power bait type stuff. I actually have 2 of these. I have one that is dedicated to my kayak, and I have another one that if I'm going on a trout fishing trip or whatever, I can throw it in the truck and it's good to go. Along with the kayak storage, I use some of these in my boat as well, just for different things, almost more like a day bag. But this is the Plano, just kind of their little soft bag. Again, it's the Edge series. It gives you a place to write what's in it. And I have another one of these that I keep in my backpack if I'm a co-angler or I'm going to do some bank fishing or something like that. I keep one that just has hooks and jigs and just, you know, random stuff for the day that I can stuff down in my backpack. I can throw it in my kayak box. I can throw it in the day box on my boat. It's just kind of some really common stuff. My one complaint about these Plano bags, they're extremely durable. And honestly, another example of the bags, these are the H2O brand from Academy. These are really large, and they have a, you know, water resistant zipper on top, and then they have, you know, kind of your Ziploc style closure. I love the zipper because, and the Bass Mafia bags are the same way. They've got the zipper. It's just, you know, quick and easy. You can shut it, nothing's gonna fall out of it. It's not as waterproof if you don't actually do the seal, but they still work great. These are a pain in the butt to get to latch back. I mean, you really have to kind of sit here and work it closed, and you know, it'll almost latch, and then you have to push it even further to get it to fully seal. But for the kayak, that is awesome. It's really great to have it that waterproof, because obviously in a kayak, you never know. I've tipped mine over before. You obviously try not to, but it happens. Also, on all of my bags that I keep and my boxes that I keep in my kayak or for my kayak, I've got my name and my phone number written on them. More than likely, you lose a tackle box on the river or on the lake. If anybody ever finds it, you're more than likely not going to get it back, but still try to have a little bit of hope that somebody might find it and call me. Another really great bag are these Spro bags. Again, these are I don't think this is the biggest. I think this might be the second biggest. They're not as big as you would like for them to be, but they are just a zipper closure, and they're actually kind of got this rip stop on them. So even if you get a little bit of a hole in here, it's not going to tear past that grid. So I really like these. I keep one of these in my bass boat that has just some odd and end stuff in it as well. But the crate for a kayak is great. You can throw it in the back of the truck. You know, if you're going on a kayak trip, you can take it out of your kayak, just set it in the back of your truck or in the back seat, and it's out of the way, and it just kind of keeps everything contained into a small compact unit. And then I also keep another waterproof box in here for my phone and my wallet. Okay, I showed you this bag. This, like I said, it kind of makes its way between, you know, just a little bit of keeping the truck in case I get a second to, you know, maybe cast a line or something. If I'm not hauling my boat, I've just got me and a rod. I keep this in there. It kind of travels back and forth between my truck, my boat, and this backpack. I looked for a long time for a backpack. I've tried every soft Plano bag that you can fit multiple boxes in. You know, if you're going, say, on a bank trip, or if you're going, you know, you're going to be a co-angler with your buddy in his boat. I've tried pretty much every solution that there is, and I finally settled on the backpack, and I don't know that I will go away from this. This is honestly, I think, the cheapest one that Dick's Sporting Goods had. It's their Jawbone series, and it doesn't hold a ton. It will hold 3 3700 boxes pretty comfortably. I think I have two 3700s and a 3600 in this particular bag, with just, you know, some terminal tackle and just random stuff. I've got some catfish hooks and, you know, whatever. You pretty much do any type of fishing out of this. It's got a pliers storage right here. And you've got another, you know, maybe like a water bottle holder or something, but I've got another small waterproof box to store some sinkers and different other kind of weights and some beads and stuff like that. It just latches closed. That fits in there perfect. This pouch up here, I keep 2 spools of line. I've got 10-pound and 12-pound fluoro in there for leader line. Another little mesh bag right here for a pair of scissors. And then these front 2 compartments, they are strictly just packed to the gills with soft plastics. Now, most of these will go back in my boat in one of the, you know, 6 cents or Plano storage bags I showed you earlier. This is actually still from a tournament that I fished with a buddy a few weeks ago. I haven't unpacked it yet, but I can pretty much just throw whatever baits I think I want to use in here. And this lives in my truck. I've got a travel rod and reel that I keep in my truck as well, just in case you ever get a random opportunity to fish a pond or the river or something driving down the road. But this actually lives in my truck. There's another pouch here. I don't keep anything in there. I can throw my cell phone. I can throw just some odd and end stuffs, and then another little mesh pouch here. But I think this backpack was like $50, and so far I'm really pleased with it. It's even actually got rod holders here. You can stick your rod in there and carry it on your back. But so far this has been really awesome. Showed you these bags. Like I said, these are the Academy brand. These are pretty massive. Kind of just keep these just for odd and end stuff. I keep one in my boat. I keep one in my truck. You don't even have to throw tackle in these. It's just kind of handy to have a big heavy duty Ziploc bag sometimes. And I want to say those are like $10 a piece. They're not bad. I used the Bass Mafia ones for a long time. And like I said, with my older boats, they kind of got ruined over the years with getting wet all the time. They hold up really good, but they're not foolproof. So, they will wear out, but I want to say they're like $15 to $17 for those. You've got a ton of options, but I would check out either the Academy or the Plano ones. The Plano ones seem to be a lot thicker plastic. And I've had the ones that I've got for maybe 6 months, so we'll see how long they last. All right. This is strictly extra hooks. This stays in my truck along with whatever soft plastics I don't have in my boat currently, just as I like to have them with me, whether I won't necessarily put everything in my boat if I know that I'm not going to be throwing a drop shot one day, but I keep the drop shot bag in my truck. It's just as easy to keep it in there. And then if for some reason you're out on the lake and they want to buy the drop shot, you can run back to the truck, grab that bag of soft plastics, and you've got them. So these are spare hooks. I've got everything from 3/0 wide gap, 4/0 wide gap, every size of wide gap. Flipping hooks, I've got everything labeled with what is in it. So there's 3/0, 4/0, 5/0 flipping hooks. These little bags, it's just everyone has a different style of hook in it. Some of them I put 2 different sizes, like drop shot hooks. You can fit multiple different size packs in one sleeve. Trailer hooks, but this is a Mustad little worm binder from Walmart. I want to say these are like $15. I have another Mustad bag here, and I don't have as many things in it. So I robbed a few of the binder pages just to put in this one, because obviously the hooks aren't very thick, so they don't take up a ton of room. But this is a great way just to store, your extra packs of hooks. Keep a few in the boat. There's not really any reason to have 100, wide gap hooks in the boat of one size at a time. So any extra packs that I've got, I keep them in this. And like I said, this usually just stays in my truck. If I'm going out on a buddy's boat or, anything like that, I could grab this if I needed to, but typically I keep my boxes pretty well stocked with everything, and this is just my own little hook tackle store in my truck. Kind of technique specific, this is my crappie bag. I don't mean that this bag isn't any good. This is literally just crappie baits. We're going to catch some crappie or crappie or whatever you want to call them. But in here, I've got a couple of these little Plano boxes. One has hooks and weights in it. The other one has rooster tails, Met spinners. And then these are all my little Bobby Garland, minnows and everything for crappie baits, a few different kinds. And this bag is actually double-sided. So you can store more over here. I've got floats, I've got jig heads. So you even got a space for little jars in this. And I could grab this for trout as well. It's just predominantly crappie baits. So during crappie season, this will also live in my truck. That way I can pull it out. If I decide I want to do a little crappie fishing, I can throw it in the boat. These bags are actually very decently waterproof. They will get water in them if they just sit out in a downpour, but they have the rubberized zippers, and this is definitely like a rubber material for the bag itself. So you could leave this sitting in the floor of your boat, and as long as it's not just coming an absolute monsoon and the bottom of your boat's full of water, everything in here will stay dry. That's just kind of a brief. I know a 30-minute video is not brief, but that's a brief synopsis of how I store everything. I could go way further into depth with this, but nobody wants to hear me ramble on for any longer about organization. But if you do have any questions about a particular way I store baits or a particular box, I've tried all of them. So drop a comment, ask the question, let me know what you use. I appreciate the likes, I appreciate the shares, and I will catch y'all on the next video. Bye.